YouTube crew, how's it going? It's Multiplier here. In this video, I'm going to show you the correct way, the proper way to back up your computer, your data, your electronic files that you create when you're doing your computer things. There's a proper way to do it, and that way is using a 3-2-1 backup system, 3-2-1 backup strategy idea. It's really cool. It's been invented by content creation professionals, photographers, video guys, audio guys, etc. over the years, and it's well established as the proper way to do it. So first of all, the theory, and then how I do it myself. So I create so much data that I actually have to do it in a different sort of non-trivial way compared to a sort of normal human who generates a normal amount of data. Now my computer is actually over here, you can see. But to properly explain what's going on, let's go to the free-form fun zone. So 3-2-1, at any moment in time, you need 3 copies of your data. 1, 2, 3. But there's more. 2 need to be on site on different devices, and importantly, 1 needs to be off-site. And I can represent off-site with this friendly giraffe. 3-2-1. 3 copies of your data. 1, 2, 3. 2 of these copies must be on-site but on different devices. 1, 2. And 1 of the copies must be off-site. On-site will be in your home studio or office, whereas off-site will be in a different building, ideally in a different country, or maybe not a different country, but definitely a different county, or definitely a different town. On-site, you need 2 copies so that if your main machine dies, you can get your data back extremely quickly. You don't have to go to your off-site place. And of course, you need 1 off-site on the very rare occasion, but the very possible occasion that something really horrible goes wrong, like a volcano or flood or fire. You still want to make sure in that sort of nightmare situation you have a copy of your data, so keep a copy off-site too. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, how might this look in practice? For a normal human being, a normal sort of person in the world that generates a normal, quote-unquote, normal amount of data, it's quite simple. All you need is 1 hard drive and an online backup solution, such as Carbonite or Backblaze or one of the other ones. Mozzie. Other ones too. The online backup solutions cost around $50 or $60 a year normally for unlimited data. And what it does is it looks at your computer, and whenever you make a change, it updates that change to the internet, to the cloud automatically. And the cool thing is it only uploads when you're not using your internet, so it sort of intelligently does it in a way that doesn't get in your way. The main downside is you need to be uploading all your information into the cloud, and that uses an awful lot of internet, as you can probably imagine. For most people, it's totally manageable, but for me, someone with terabytes of data that needs to go up into the cloud, and then someone who's also generating the hundreds of gigabytes of data per month, it simply doesn't really work. I'm literally generating so many gigabytes on a daily basis. Oh, so many gigabytes that even if I spent my whole time just uploading information, it still wouldn't quite go quick enough. So my solution for this offsite copy is a good one. Basically, grab a hard drive. This is not the hard drive I use, but and hard drive. Every month or so, take a hard drive, back up all your information, and take it to your parents' house, or your office, or your friend's house, somewhere in a different town, or building, or country. If you like, every month or so, manually back up all your data onto hard drives, multiple hard drives if you need to, and leave it at your parents' house. So, on-site backup. This is my computer. I mean, it has more sort of bits and bobs in it in the real world, but imagine it's got all the bits and the bobs. This is my computer I want to back up, and this is my on-site backup drive. I partition this drive into 3 partitions, a normal partition where I can do manual sort of willy-nilly backups, and then I have a time machine partition, which is the backup software built into the Mac operating system, Mac OS X. But because I don't fully trust Apple, I also do a SuperDuper backup. Seriously though, SuperDuper is amazing and it's free. It's a way to image a bit of software you can get for free for the Mac that allows you to take an image of a drive and copy it somewhere else, such as your backup. SuperDuper, it's free, and it's what most people use, certainly in the Mac world. I don't know about the PC world myself, but certainly in the Mac world, SuperDuper tends to be the software that people use to image a drive, so taking a snapshot basically of the entire thing. SuperDuper I do need to do manually. I maybe do it once every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or so. I should maybe do it more often, but I do have that time machine backup that happens literally every other day or so, which should theoretically work. But if it doesn't, it's not too far back in the past to the last SuperDuper, so things will be SuperDuper. In reality, it all gets rather confusing for me. What I have is a Macintosh computer device, It's my main machine. I then have a 256GB SSD hard drive, which I use as a scratch disk for video editing and video editing work, as well as an additional working drive that I want super fast access to. And I also have a 4TB Seagate drive, which is a slow spinny one, but cheap, that I sort of keep all my sort of files I want to keep on. Sort of a weird one, that. That is stuff that most of it I don't need to back up, but not all of it. Some of it I need to back up for a few months or so. Other bits, maybe 6 months, other bits not at all. So that one's a weird one. I kind of back up bits and bobs off that manually. And that is partly stuff I don't need to keep as a working scratch drive, but also partly stuff I do need to keep. I need to keep everything on here though, the computer. And then this, the 3TB Porsche design, super fast Porsche race car, Porsche design Lassie drive. This is my main backup drive with all those partitions and stuff, and that's my sort of proper backup. But what I also do is back up willy-nilly when I feel like it, when I think I need to this guy, which is a older 2TB Seagate drive, I think. Yeah, Seagate. So sort of bits and bobs I need to keep for a few weeks or a few months, but not really forever, I stick on here manually, which also makes it more confusing, but better to be safe than sorry. And then there's also stuff on here, which is also further backing up some really important stuff, but it's also got some stuff on it that I don't need. I think it's a 500GB SSD, but I've broken the cable going into it. So I need to buy a new sort of case for it and repurpose the drive. I also back up documents and data in additional multiple ways. There's sorts of really important stuff, such as tax and accounting things, all sorts of boring business stuff. Those I have additionally backed up to various cloud storage solutions, such as iCloud Drive, a few other ones, 2 or 3 other ones, all of which, for obvious reasons, are password protected with 2-factor authentication. But the good thing is, because they're backed up to cloud storage solutions, let's say there's a complete disaster and everything goes wrong, there's some sort of giant EMP device, explosion, everything for 100 miles is decimated, including my offsite backup. I can still get my documents and data from one of these cloud storage solutions. I could sign into iCloud Drive or one of the other ones. Madness, madness, backup drives everywhere, chaos, confusion, multiple copies, what's going on, versioning, This bit was, yes, very confusing. The important bit is the 3-2-1 system. 3 copies, 1, 2, 3, 2 copies on site on different devices, and 1 copy off-site. Right, where am I going to put this? Where am I going to put this? Oh, that's the door. My name has been Multiplier, and I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip. Spin, 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 spin.